happening here? The Dark Forest should be wilder territory, but it's swarming with light bearers everywhere.
Plus, people here seem like they've been wallowing in the mud, all grubby and upset.
Since you have a ship, it's best to depart from here. If there's space on your ship, kindly consider taking these refugees too.
Listen up, Corin, my friend. Regardless of your identities and origins, this place doesn't seem fit for camping. It's pretty damp and cold by the river. You should take everyone to the forest and let my people take good care of them.
Those bunny ears. Are you one of the Wilders?
You bet I am. Thanks to my ears, I was able to hear them say your name.
You lot issued an exclusion edict and are forcing refugees to leave the Dark Forest. I haven't had a chance to sort things out with you. Look at the weak and elderly. Is this the Wilders' way of welcoming guests? What happened to your once peaceful and benevolent demeanor?
Hold on. What exclusion edict?
Enough talk. I am taking them into the forest, no matter what it takes. Ouch! My arm.
You're injured? That shouldn't be. My blade hasn't even touched you.
Oh my! You're hurt! How about listening first before diving into action?
A sword wielder, 2 talking hamsters, and you. Who are you all, really? What are you going to do about that exclusion edict? Even if that bunny-eared boy gets in, the Wilders will still drive you guys out. Because you are all outsiders in the eyes of the Wilders, just like us.
Mr. Corin, we were invited to come down from Hollystone to help with some small problems in the forest. If I still can't gain your trust, here's my heroic order emblem. And as for these few... This is my friend and his hamster familiars. As you can see, he is a great mage.
You don't have to tell me. I learned that well a moment ago. Now that you've introduced yourselves, here's the story. These refugees from the Remnant Peaks had their village attacked by golems. They've come to the Dark Forest seeking help. They also sought help from Hollystone, but something odd occurred there and their pleas went unanswered. Forced to flee, they've ended up here.
Well, talk about coincidence. We happen to be the ones involved in the Hollystone incidents.
What? You?
No, don't get me wrong. What I meant to say is that's too bad. If you go to Hollystone now, I'm sure those soldiers would be willing to take you in.
These refugees have faced hardships on their journey, with many being elderly or disabled. Now, with ships to and from the Dark Forest widely suspended, they can't leave immediately. You just arrived here from Hollystone. I understand that you may not be familiar with the forest's expulsion of refugees. Sorry for my impulsive behavior earlier. A very simple and cruel order. Non-Wilders are strictly forbidden from entering the forest. Those who enter and stay are promptly expelled without question.
Unbelievable! The Dark Forest has always been a welcoming place for friends from afar, particularly around the docks where there are camps for traders and travelers.
You are half right. Those camps have indeed been a lifesaver, sparing the refugees from rough nights after a long journey. But the exclusion edict is also true.
I don't understand. Why are my people blaming the humans for the corruption? I guess I've been away from home for too long.
Something seems off. How about we have Lorson lead us to the forest and see for ourselves? Just standing around won't help. Let's go investigate further into the corruption and the exclusion edict.
Let me lead the way. I need to know what's the deal with this exclusion edict.
It's time to show you my moves.
Mr. Corrin, are there any ships at the dock?
No. There are only a few half-dilapidated ships. I met a Wilder who's willing to help, so maybe with his support I can go into the forest and talk things over with the person in charge. Once the edict is lifted, you'll be free to enter the forest and recuperate. Is little Jonathan's fever down?
He's fine now. All thanks to the herbs you found. Since there's still hope of getting into the forest, I will stay here a little longer and do my best to take care of everyone.
Miss, I noticed there are still quite a few elderly people and kids in the tents. Are only a few of you taking care of this big camp?
When the golems attacked our village, the men insisted on having the elderly and children evacuate first, so only the mothers came along.
We need someone to stay here and ensure their safety. Considering their shortage of supplies and manpower, leaving them here could put them in danger. Whether it's lifting the exclusion edict or removing the corruption, there's no time to lose. I will stay here. Mr. Corrin, Lorson, and you, please head to the forest first. Sorry. Allow me to go back on my word for the sake of protecting these poor folks.
The heroic order truly lives up to the ideals of justice and bravery. Valen, I'm counting on you to protect Clementine and the rest. Don't worry. Anyone who dares to lay a finger on the Magister shall face my spear first.
Fellow Knights! Fireball!
It's a good thing that Valen stayed behind. These Gruglins could have posed threats to the refugees. During my patrol earlier, I noticed that the Gruglins around here are more violent than usual.
Gruglins going crazy for no apparent reason, and strange crops absorbing leyline magic. This is just like what happened in Hollowstone.
Nonsense. Why would there be a connection between them? Perhaps the Wilders only imposed the exclusion edict to protect us from the Gruglins in this area. I suppose that's too good of an explanation.
The Gruglins in the forest weren't this aggressive before I left. Could it be that grapes from Ryham have grown around here too? Ugh, I can't wrap my head around this. Do you have any clues? Oh, right. I remember there's one nearby. Apart from here, corruption is also spreading in the depths of the forest. It's called corruption because it affects plants, making them look like they've decayed. Clearing out the decayed parts won't prevent them from regenerating, much like the grapes near Ryham. Words may not suffice. Come with me and I'll show you.
This chaotic and oppressive magic feels quite similar to what I sensed in Southville, but it's much stronger and more ominous. I'm not feeling well. Should we...
Hammy! Are you okay? Magister! What's going on? What just happened to Hammy? Hammy, stay strong! Our Magister is here! You're gonna be okay!
Hey, let me take care of little Miss Hamster. You find a way to tackle that corruption. How did something this harmful end up growing in the dark forest?
Can you clear out these corrupted roots using the method that worked for the vineyard? I'm counting on you. Besides you, I can't imagine anyone else or any other way to completely eradicate them. Please, do your best.
Magister, thank you for purifying the corruption.
Bryon? He's Bryon, a Wind Whisperer just like me. It's been a while. What brings you here?
Lawson, my lord, your return was accompanied by incessant clamor. My endeavor in obliviousness proved notably intricate.
Stop. Don't call me that.
Huh? His status remains a mystery to all of you. Lawson is Master Arden's student, and among the younger generation of the Wind Whisperers, he stands out as the most exceptional. Within the Dark Forest, the Dusk Patrollers, Wind Whisperers, and Thorn Guards symbolize heritage, perception, and protection, respectively. Each of the three factions appoints a sage, and unitedly they rule. Master Arden is the representative of the Wind faction, with Lawson acclaimed as one of his stellar apprentices, specifically renowned for his mastery in wind whispering.
Hey, you make it sound like I'm bad at other things.
Of course not. Apart from running out of the forest seeking aid, neglecting daily tasks of the Whisper Web, you are flawless.
Don't call me that. Let's just get down to business already. Hey, Bryon, meet my friend. He's the great Magister I brought back from Hollowstone.
I've heard. Are you aware that the corrupted roots require regular uprooting, or else they'll regenerate? Normally, it takes several weeks for the corrupted roots to regrow after removal, yet presently, they manage to reach the current state in a matter of days.
As you've seen, he does have the power to eliminate them.
It's best if you see it that way. As a Wind Whisperer, my duty lies in the delivery of messages. Hence, could I implore you to visit the station of the Dusk Patrollers? Discussing with Captain Leica, who is in charge of eradicating these corrupting roots, could significantly improve the effectiveness of information sharing.
Leica? It's nothing.
Mr. Corrin, you seem like you require some help too. The wind brings the cries of distant refugees.
Took you some time to remember the plight of the refugees, huh? You lot are a far cry from the wilders I've ever met.
Please, quell your anger. The exclusion edict was issued by Master Earmere, and the Thorn Guards are merely carrying out the order. I, as a Wind Whisperer, possess no influence to contest their determinations. Captain Leica will articulate the particulars. Come with me, if you will. Go, my friend.
No escaping for you.
I heard from the patrollers that there were bandits nearby, so I hurried over. Lawson, it's ridiculous. Years go by, not a peep from you. Not even a letter. Brian sent you messages through the wind, and you just ignored us.
Well, he did respond, with a single word. Acknowledged.
Well, I was in a hurry to bring us back a savior.
Oh, sorry. Are these your friends? Hi, I'm Laika, captain of the Dust Patrollers. Lawson has been a bit of a troublemaker since he was young. I'm sorry if he caused any trouble for you along the way.
Come on, sister, it's been 3 years. Can't we catch up for a moment without digging into the past? Take a good look. Laika and I have lively ears and striking appearances. Especially me.
Despite the similar ears, Lawson and I are different. I don't have the innate talent for wind whispering.
Let's chit-chat later. Are you the captain of the Dusk Patrollers? Are you aware that the bandits were deliberately causing trouble for the Wilders, purposefully stirring up conflicts between the two communities? With the exclusion edict in place, skilled bandits can vanish easily, but defenseless refugees have nowhere to run. Where are your arrows pointing then?
Sir, I'm aware of the bandits.
Then why?
I've been meaning to apologize for this. The Thorn faction has always leaned towards conservatism, not wanting outsiders to disturb the peace of the forest. A while back, the Thorn Guards proposed blocking the entrance to the forest. There were rumors later on saying humans brought in the corrupted seeds. With corruption spreading in the forest and all those bandit problems, it gave them more reasons to act. Even in the once liberal Dusk faction and the neutral Wind faction, more and more people are starting to agree with the Thorn Guards.
What? What about Granny Donnie? And Old Man Arden? Did they not stand up against the Thorn Guards?
The 3 sages. Lawson, the Dark Forest is a very different place now than it was when you left. However, sir, despite the internal strife amongst the Wilders, it shouldn't be a reason for us to fail our refugee friends. I should apologize to you and those who are suffering.
Factional disputes, I see. At least there were no armed clashes. You do have your reasons. However, those refugees have been driven to the docks with nowhere to go. Can anything be done?
Laika is the mage that Lawson invited to cleanse the corrupted roots. Should we guide them to Lunadorf? Please inform Master Dani, leader of the Dusk faction, that the situation might bring about a turning point to this whole ordeal.
Really? Can you really clear out the corrupted roots? That's remarkable. The patrollers had to keep a fire going for hours just trying to cleanse one spot. Even then, those roots soon grow back again.
But your alteration of the magic flow can substantially decelerate the pace of regeneration.
In that case, the patrollers would finally have time to help the refugees. Good, sir. Let me take you to Lunadorf right now.
Amazing!
I've been away from home for so long, but the Lucent tree is still so beautiful. Let me proudly present to you the grand tree with a canopy resembling the night sky and sparkling with a galaxy of stars. The Lucent tree.
It is said that this is a divine tree planted by the goddess of the earth and the rivers, Misate herself. Those who first arrived in the Dark Forest laid the foundation for the villagers beneath its majestic canopy, paving the way for the prosperity we witness today. The pioneers of Lunadorf even planted a small tree, inspired by the great Lucent tree.
But there's nothing special about that one. Well, let's pause the nostalgia here. We'll be arriving at Lunadorf soon.
Go, my friend.
Abandoned shoes, scattered mats, toppled tents, and unfinished mushroom soup? Looks like they left in a hurry.
They mentioned being initially permitted to enter the forest for a brief respite. However, they were suddenly expelled by armed guards in the middle of the night. Just look at the chaos left behind. I arrived when they were fleeing in disarray. There were hardly any young men capable of protecting them. I retired from the army long ago. I came to the Dark Forest looking for someone.
No wonder. Those refugees don't look like they can afford to shell out money and hire a guard.
Well, I have my reasons. How am I supposed to find anyone if there's an exclusion edict? Helping the refugees just happened.
The Thorn Guards used to be different. While they were conservative, many guards risked their lives when hyperfiends were rampant, safeguarding the peace of the forest. But now with the corruption, disturbances in the forest, and Master Eomer's influence, they have become radical to such an extent.
Master, the title of a sage should be reserved for those who make wiser decisions.
Despite being strict, everyone respects Master Eomer, as he once led the guards at the forefront against the hyperfiends. The teachings we received from childhood were that wind whisperers heed the forest's whispers, dusk patrollers embrace its goodness, while thorn guards keep the peace. The three factions support and assist each other. As of now, yes.
Let us go! We're only looking for healing. I don't know who you're looking for, but we didn't do anything. Leave us alone!
Hey, did you hear people calling for help?
Could it be that the Thorn Guards are evicting people again?
Hand over those people, Aaron. They must be the ones who kidnapped Damien. And you're protecting them.
They need to be locked up! Lock them up! Lock them up!
These refugees. They're the weak and elderly.
Go, my friend.
Aaron, what are you doing here? Weren't you off on a world tour to sharpen your swordsmanship?
Aaron came back a few days before you. He helped us remove the corrupted roots and tried to persuade the Thorn Guards to lift the exclusion edict.
But it appears they won't heed anyone's words.
My apologies. I am Aaron, a swordsman in training.
In training? Oh, please. You haven't changed a bit. Your swordsmanship is second to none in the entire forest.
My old friend. Your habit of exaggerating has not changed. Yes, Lawson, Leica and I grew up together. They became apprentices of the two sages, and I left the forest to sharpen my skills.
He's the one who's always muttering, "This isn't the path I'm seeking," or "My sword needs a clearer purpose." Then he ditched Leica and me and went off on his solo quest. Hold on, where are the refugees? Are they hurt?
Take your time. I see. You were trying to get inside for medical help, but those cursed Thorn Guards wanted to arrest you.
Yes! Oh, thank goodness you're humans. I didn't think anyone else had escaped their search. When those Wilders came at night, we hid on a small islet across the river, amid the chaos. Then one of the refugees started running a high fever. We had no choice. So we thought we'd sneak into the forest while those guys were on patrol. Then they came back and interrogated us about Damien's whereabouts, as if we had captured a Wilder boy.
Damien? Did you just say Damien? He's the reason why I came to the Dark Forest. Kidnapped? But Damien is a Wilder. Who would kidnap him?
Damien is missing. But I don't think the Lightbearer refugees are responsible. The Thorn Guards are too biased to be trusted. I've searched the area before and didn't find anything. How's it going outside the forest?
Not a single trace either.
You're right. Finding Damien is my personal task. These refugees can't be left alone.
Rather than extending a helping hand, the Thorn Guards are forcing them to leave. Don't worry, Mr. Corin. Damien is our friend, and we will find him. Let the Dusk Patrollers escort these refugees back to the campsite. With the patrollers by their side, the Thorn Guards shouldn't trouble them anymore.
Chippy will take care of informing everyone. Chippy can run super fast.
Thank you. This is a message leaf we use for communication. Please take it to Patroller Lena, and she will arrange everything.
Don't you worry! Chippy the Acorn Knight will complete the mission!
Thanks, you two. Where could Damien possibly be?
Stay back!
Corin?
Go, my friend.
Corin, your arms!
I'm fine. Are you all right?
But you can't move your arms!
I'm not surprised. My arms were already approaching their limit. Making it this far has exceeded my expectations. Be proud of your work, young man.
Corin's arms are, prosthetics I made for him.
It's either life or death on the battlefield. I'm lucky enough to have lived. Losing my arms didn't prevent me from joining the army. After retiring, I encountered Damien, who was out collecting materials.
Your vine arms are one of my greatest creations. The best, of course. Don't worry, Corin. I will make you a new pair of arms when I find the right materials. Rosewood,
You wood, built-in gunpowder, switchblade, you name it, and I will make 5 pairs, no, 10 pairs for you. Because you saved my life.
I can't thank you enough. I'll find a way to repay you.
Ah, are the Thorn Guards gone yet? I had the mechanical rover swerve onto another side road, making a noise to distract them.
Why distract the Thorn Guards searching for you?
For me? They looked really angry and scary. Even I could see trouble when it's running towards me like that. So I kept running, thinking no one would dare to come here. Then I got lost.
Could it be? But that's impossible. The Thorn Guards have attacked and expelled the refugees. But Damien is a wilder. Unless... I don't want to admit that my fellow wilders have fallen so far. But now, it seems to be so. Whatever the truth is, the Thorn Guards can exploit Damien's disappearance as an excuse to blame the outsiders. Damien and Leica both live close to Lunadorf, which serves as the headquarters for the Dusk Patrollers. Most villagers there also advocate for open communication with outsiders. If innocent children like Damien suffer such harm, it would be difficult for the Dusk faction to uphold their belief.
We all know Captain Parissa, leader of the Thorn Guards. She is an excellent mage, always meticulous and responsible. A decent person like her would not suddenly turn around and give such cruel orders. You mean Parissa? Has she really changed? I haven't seen her in a long time since I've been busy investigating and cleansing the corruption.
No wonder the flower has a strange color.
His magic is indeed outstanding, just as Lawson described.
Just admit it. The mage I brought back is more powerful than any you've seen in your years of traveling.
I've only been out in the world for a few years, so of course I haven't seen it all. How can I measure up to him? The magic he wields is indeed extraordinary.
Allow me to interpret for him. What he meant was, oh wow, you're amazing. He's not good at giving compliments. You'll get used to him.
You're the talkative one.
Shall we head to Lunadorf?
We should introduce you to Granny Dani. She would be pleased to know someone is able to destroy the corrupted roots. With her on our side, Master Emir might lift the exclusion edict. Mr. Corin can also have a good rest in the village.
Will they welcome me?
Of course. Villagers of Lunadorf are very nice to outsiders. Plus, you are my rescuer. Perhaps I can even find materials over there to make your new arms.
Everyone, follow me, please.
Go, my friend.
You're back. I'm so glad to see Damien all safe and sound. Look who's here. Isn't that Lorson? How long has it been? 2 years? 3? We've missed you.
It's been quite long.
Shani, do you know where Granny Dani is? We would like to introduce her to a new friend.
New friend? You're a light bearer. Mage? Oh, I know. You're like the Wind Whisperers, who can do all sorts of incredible things. No outsiders are allowed into the forest at this point. Given that you're a friend of Leica and Aeron, you must be a big deal. Oh, right. You're here for Master Dani. Unfortunately, she's out of town. First the Thorn Guards, then the Lightbearer mercenaries. Master Dani must be quite distressed.
Well, in that case, we'll have to wait until she comes back.
Corin's arms cannot wait. You guys handle the arguing part. I'm going to figure out how to make new prosthetic arms for Corin.
Do you mind waiting a bit? You could use this chance to wander around Lunadorf. Don't worry, people are friendly to travelers from afar. Mr. Corin could use this as an opportunity to get some rest.
Good question. Curiosity is the first step towards inspiration. And then comes the second step. Practice. Hurry, come with me. I've come up with new ideas for the arms. Let's go to the Wise Herb Garden. I want to show you how clever we wilders can be.
Hey, if this isn't Damien. Here to find materials again? Many patrollers were sent out earlier to look for you. Where have you been?
I accidentally ended up at the very depths of the labyrinth. No biggie. I'm back in one piece. Uncle Diane, are there quick vines in the garden? I need them for my new masterpiece.
Certainly. They're in the southwest corner. Water them the way you used to. But hey, try not to use those weird potions for watering again. Last time, things were multiplying like crazy.
You see, there are no failed inventions. Only inventions of yet-to-be-found practical uses. Thank you, Uncle Diane. I will go get some quick vines now. Not bad. Let's go with this look for the new prosthetics.
Incredible. Even with such basic materials, they take form simply through cutting and carving.
Yep. I've done it over 100 times while working on the prototype. Besides, look! I handcrafted this crafting table, and the wood carvings of the deer spirit behind the house. They're all random creations from my fun experiments.
I never thought I'd see such exquisite craftsmanship in the Dark Forest.
Corin, this is nothing compared to what you did for me. There's more impressive stuff coming up. The processing part is done up to this point. The next steps are a bit tricky, and we'll need to gather some more materials.
Finally! There you are! Master Dani has just returned and is waiting for you at the Sage's Court. Aeron and Leica have already headed there.
Granny's back so soon! I need to finish working on these prosthetic arms. Why don't you go meet her first? I'm not interested in those complicated and dull grown-up matters. They mess with my creative thinking.
Granny, those Lightbearer mercenaries seem to be intentionally stirring up conflict between the Dark Forest and the Lightbearer Empire. The Thorn Guards are acting strangely as well. They sought to intensify the conflict, going as far as chasing Damien into the labyrinth.
On top of everything, they tried to frame the disappearance of Damien on the Lightbearer refugees. If we hadn't arrived in time, the consequences would have been dire. While the Thorn Guards are traditionally conservative, why have they suddenly become so extreme?
Must be Yrmir's idea. After hearing the Thorn Guard's report at the Sages meeting, his stance was very firm. Believing the outsiders had brought corruption to the forest, he implemented the Exclusion Edict. The Thorn Guards were all for his decision. However, Arden and I thought he was too quick to decide, and that's where the disagreement started.
Granny Darnie, did you end up arguing with Master Yrmir?
Argue? I was merciful enough not to turn the meeting into an all-out verbal war. In short, the meeting ended on a sour note. Since then, Yrmir has been avoiding me. Arden went off to explore the Verduso Mountains, with only occasional updates trickling in.
Then I guess it's impossible for you to step in and ask Master Ymir to revoke the order.
Me? I wouldn't have waited this long if that old man was willing to see me. Listen, even the three sages need to weigh and contemplate matters before deciding. Wisdom comes only when we free ourselves from blindly following old beliefs. Oh dear. Come forward. Let me take a closer look at you. Are you the mage who can cleanse the corruption? I left Lunadorf earlier because a new corruption site was discovered nearby. I have to monitor it regularly, just to be safe.
What? The corruption has spread near the village. That's no good. The village will be in serious trouble if the corruption seeps into Lunos Lake.
The little troublemaker has finally grown into a responsible young man. Leica can stop worrying about you now.
Granny?
Oh, to be young again. I'll entrust you youngsters with the task of clearing up the corruption around Lunadorf then. Ryon, you stay here. Keep sending Arden messages through the wind, and make sure he responds within the day.
Yes, Master Darnie. Go, my friend.
Magister? The corrupted roots here seem odd to Chippy. Chippy just went underground for a quick look and found that the roots beneath are spreading in the southeast direction. Even though there's only a small area visible on the surface, it's pitch black down there, and the roots stretch quite far, like a giant snake.
Chippy, stop. You're giving me the creeps.
Any clues?
To the corrupted area close to the forest entrance? Where the refugee camp is? Chippy can't remember. The roots of that corrupted manafleur in the labyrinth seem to be growing toward the east.
Is there a pattern to this? When I patrolled the forest with the Dusk Patrollers, We only notice corruption in the less visited spots. We've dug out the roots before, but since they spread too widely, we could only remove a nearby section to slow down the corruption.
For the time being, let's make a note of these locations first. I have a pen and paper handy.
Granny! He just cleansed the corrupted roots. What do you think? The mage I brought in is quite impressive, right?
He hasn't even said anything, and you're already asking for credit.
Come on, I went all out to find him. There's got to be some credit from me, right? Ah, okay. You win.
Alright, friends. Let's not squabble like this in front of Granny Darnie.
You kids are so restless. It'll still be a while before you can stand on your own.
You're back! I've got everything ready for the ceremony. It's the final step in preparing the new prosthetics for Corin. Offering a prayer at the Deer Spirit altar.
Oh, my apologies. We haven't properly introduced you to the deity worshipped in the Dark Forest, have we? We worship the goddess of the earth and the rivers, Misate. Legend has it that whenever the Dark Forest faces calamity, Misate transforms into the deer spirit to guide us. As time passed, we sculptured statues of the deer spirit and set up an altar. On major holidays, or when facing crucial decisions, we offer prayers to Misate, asking for divine blessings.
To pray for Misate's blessing, so that Corin's new prosthetics can last for a good while. I took a close look at his previous arms. They lost their vitality due to extended use. It was only after blocking that attack for me that they stopped working completely. Though Misate may not answer my prayer, I figured I should at least try. Well, worry not. I adjusted my design to ensure that they last longer than the previous ones. All right, that completes the ceremony.
Misate above. I'm sure she has heard everyone's prayers.
Corin, how are your new arms? Aren't they easy to move around with?
Yes. My arms. I can move them again.
What do you think? They are my greatest invention. Just come to me if anything happens to them. Forget about that exclusion edict. Saving my life makes you a friend. There's no reason to keep friends outside.
Yes. I owe you one.
No, don't say that. You owe me, I owe you, blah blah blah. It's a meaningless cycle, isn't it? Save your thanks for Laika and Aaron. They helped us too.
All right. My dear Wilder friends, I've come to understand that the forest blockade is Eomir's decision. I made a mistake in my previous assumption. You've been accompanying Damien and me on this journey. Please accept my apologies.
It's okay. Given the current chaos, we, as children of the forest, must share the responsibility. Laika Lawson and I were born and raised in the Dark Forest. We must bring order to our home once again.
Magister, can you do me a favor? Damien says my arms are not ready to fight anytime soon. So when you see Eomir... I have faith in you.
You must be exhausted from the journey. Granny Darnie and Shani have arranged a place for you to rest. If you'd like a short nap, head to the house by the Weiserherb Garden.
Chippy, do you remember when I was affected by the corrupting magic at the forest entrance? The magic emanating from the corruption felt identical to what I sensed in Southville. Is it possible that the same person is behind all this mess?
Ah! Stop! You're giving yourself a headache! Chippy will cry if you collapse again!
Magister, why haven't you gone to bed yet? You need some quality sleep to restore your magic.
Hammy suggested that we take some time to think so you can get more rest. You must be really tired from the journey and the cleansing.
Yes, but we haven't come up with anything yet. Before you reinforce the seal, didn't the mercenaries guarding the grape fields mention a woman in black working with Lord France? I think there's a connection between the corruption here and what happened in Ryam. But so far, we haven't found any clues.
Hammy doesn't have any ideas, so Chippy is even more clueless. Chippy thinks those creepy, tangled roots underground look like a huge spider web. Super scary.
Magister, leave the guarding to me and Chippy. Go get a good night's sleep until you're fully rested.
Hammy is right. Rest well, Magister. Tomorrow we'll figure out how to get Ymir to lift that exclusion edict.
Why are you still up? Is the place Granny Dani arranged not to your liking? As a guest from afar, it would be our fault if you couldn't rest well. Well, my mind is restless, so I thought I'd walk around the village. This tree, you see, was planted when Lunadorf was founded, imitating the Lucent tree. When I was young, I often saw people standing under this tree. I would ask them, if you have worries, why not pray at the Deer Spirit altar? And they said many things were too embarrassing to voice in front of Misate. Now, I understand that sentiment. Magister, while you were wandering the village, did anyone mention my title? Some call me the Scion of the Lucent Tree. The Lucent Tree is the sacred tree of the Dark Forest, and it is believed that a child born under its branches will be blessed by Misate. Everyone believes that I would bring peace and happiness to the forest. I've never met them. Was I abandoned by my parents, or was I blessed, as legend has it? It's meaningless to trace my lineage, because I don't feel any different from Leica, Lawson, and the others. But there's only one thing I can't forgive myself for. I wish to walk the path of the sword, and have no interest in living up to everyone's expectations. So, as Lawson said, I left. I left the forest and everything behind, dedicating myself to perfecting my swordsmanship. Only upon my return did I realize that the forest had changed. I wield the weapon meant to protect the forest, but I've lost the will to protect it. You're right. Yet, being a member of the wilder community, I have duties to fulfill. I'm not the hero everyone envisions, just a selfish person avoiding his responsibilities. I deserve to be punished. Don't let my self-pity affect your mood. Go and get some rest.
Good to see you. Did you sleep well last night? That's wonderful to hear.
Granny Dani, we've come to say goodbye.
We're heading to the base of the Thorn faction to find Ymir. We hope he'll reconsider the exclusion edict and ensure fair treatment for the refugees.
Go on, teach that old man a lesson. He won't remember the forest's way of treating guests unless we remind him. Avoiding me is one thing, but if he can't even face a few youngsters, that old man will lose all his dignity.
Damien, we're getting ready to leave. Stay in the village and be careful with your inventions, or Granny will be after you with her umbrella stick.
Don't worry. I won't let her catch me while I'm working on my new explosive barrel.
Lawson?
What? Did I do something wrong again?
No, you did well. May the wind guide both you and him on your way.
Leica, Aaron, and Lawson. Why are you all in my dream? I don't think you did anything wrong.
You just passed out after drinking too much cornflower tea.
Am I awake? Why are even dreams so fleeting? I haven't repented to Miss Sate yet. You don't look like a wilder from the way you dress.
He is the mage Lawson invited back to cleanse the corruption. Carissa, I don't mean to sound rude, but do you really think the exclusion edict is a good idea? While it keeps out the corruption, it also shuts the door on others' good intentions. As the captain of the Thorn Guards, could you please urge Master Eomer to give the matter a second thought?
The Thorn Guards look so tough. I didn't expect their captain to be such a beautiful lady.
Even the most beautiful roses have thorns. Looks don't matter. What matters is the will to protect the forest. Besides, what captain? I am no longer captain of the Thorn Guards. The new captain has been chosen from the elite, but the ultimate authority lies with Master Eomer. I expressed my concerns about the exclusion edict and repeatedly advised Master Eomer to reconsider his decision. Unfortunately, he remains convinced that the corruption in the forest is caused by humans, and that by sealing it off, we can cut off its source. Later, I was relieved of my duties due to my supposed incompetence and perceived disloyalty. My companions, including Vice Captain Kafra, were also reassigned.
But wasn't it Eomer who first saw your sense of responsibility and made you captain?
It's probably due to my defiance. In any case, there's no longer a place for me in the camp. What you don't understand as an Outlander is that with or without the title, I'm a member of the Thorn Guards. The Thorn Guards have been up to no good lately. As a former captain, I'm powerless to intervene or advise them. How can I face the people of Lunadorf and beg for shelter?
Is that why you sought refuge in the Dream Realm just now?
That was the only way I could repent to Misate.
Where there's our hero, there's a way. Carissa, when faced with an Outlander who can cleanse corruption, will Eomer stick to his earlier decision? His resistance to external support would drag the forest deeper into the mire, rather than helping our shared home.
Scion of the Lucent Tree, can you really cleanse the corruption? I guess there's no reason to doubt you, since both Aeron and Leica spoke highly of you. Leica of the Dusk faction, Lawson of the Wind faction, and the scion of the Lucent Tree who is fated to save the Dark Forest. Of the three factions, only the Thorned faction remains resistant to change. Come with me. I'll take you to Eormir. Drizga, we are here to see Master Eormir.
Harissa, why are you here? Wait, no. You're no longer the captain. You have no right to enter the Thorn camp.
Please, step aside and let us in.
They all claimed you were conspiring with outsiders. I didn't believe it. But now it appears to be true. Why are you bringing a Dusk Patroller and a Wind Whisperer into our camp? You were once Master Eormir's most trusted advisor, and now you're defying his orders?
Drizga, the Thorn Guard's mission is to protect the forest, not blindly champion the will of one sage. Now, are the Thorn Guards still worthy of being called the Guardians of the Forest?
You're the one who betrayed us! Guards, get them out of here!
Listen to the voice of the flowers. Listen to the voice of the flowers.
Shine, star.
Onward, fellow knights!
Those Thorn Guards are tough.
We still have a ways to go before reaching Eormir's tent.
What? Will there be more battles like that ahead? That last battle made me want to turn tail and run.
The Thorn Guards never slack off in training. We work hard to protect the forest. But what are they trying to protect now? Let's get going.
Lady Alicia! She the same person as the lady in black conducting grape experiments in Ryham?
What? She's in the Dark Forest.
Who's this Lady Alicia you're talking about?
Not sure if they're the same person, but there must be some correlation between the corruption and the Syndicate camp.
Could she be behind the forest corruption as well? Too bad the parchment was incinerated. Only bits and pieces were left behind. Hopefully we'll stumble upon more clues later on.
Listen to the voice of the flowers.
I hear a storm coming. That woman, with the pale face and the long black dress. She has to be the lady in black who worked with Franz. We finally found the culprit. She's been using magic to corrupt the entire Dark Forest.
Is it really the Lightbearers who are corrupting the forest? Could it be that Master Eomir is right?
No. Something seems off.
Ah, I remember something. Pale skin. A whiff of decay. No heartbeat. She's a...
Graveborn? I've read about the realm of the Graveborns, the Bantus Empire, and tales of restless souls. But why did they suddenly appear in the Dark Forest? Wilders never interact with them, nor do we have any grudges.
I see. So the corruption is created by foreign magic. No wonder neither sword nor flame can sever its regeneration. Would you mind having your familiar inspect the state of the corrupted roots, regenerated by that Graveborn lady?
Roger that! Leave it to Chippy! Chippy is 100% sure! The roots here all extend south!
You've been particularly attentive to the distribution and direction of the corrupted roots along the way. Is there a significance to their distribution? Here. I've marked the recently corrupted area too.
Where the lucent tree is? How? If the corrupted roots underground are after the lucent tree, then...
The lucent tree is the heart of the Dark Forest, a sacred symbol. The consequences would be unimaginable if it's corrupted. We need to tell Master Eomir who did all this. If we could get help from the Thorn Guards to find that Graveborn lady. Maybe it's not too late. Please.
Listen to the voice of the flowers.
Shine, star.
May the wind and frost unite as one.
Listen to the voice of the flowers.
Shine, star.
Listen to the voice of the flowers. Listen to the voice of the flowers. Listen to the voice of the flowers.
Parissa, you brought outsiders to our main base. Have you forgotten the vigilance and pride of the Thorned Guards?
Master Earmere, we have something important to report. Aaron, Leica, Lawson, and I saw the real culprit behind the corruption. A grave-born woman in a black dress.
Go on.
Master Eomir. He is a mage invited by Lawson the Wind Whisperer. He successfully cleansed the corruption and unraveled the mystery of its spread. He discovered that all the corrupted roots underground extend towards the Lucent Tree.
That grave-born woman is trying to corrupt our sacred Lucent Tree. The evidence is conclusive. I implore you, Master Eomir, to redeploy the Thorn Guards and focus on searching for the real culprit.
Aaron, Leica, is what she just said true?
Yes, Misate above. What Parissa said is absolutely true.
We hope you'll kindly accept his help and consider lifting the exclusion edict.
Very well. Oh, Parissa, my dear Parissa, I'm very disappointed in you.
Pardon?
Do you take me for a fool? You want to make a name for yourself by fabricating this lie. On top of that, you're conspiring with the likes of a Dusk Patroller and a Wind Whisperer. A mage from the outside, huh? The spread of the corruption you mentioned was previously verified by the Thorned Guards. According to our intelligence, every location and spread of the corruption aligns with your movements.
What are you trying to say?
You fool. Listen, young Wind Whisperer. The mage you brought from the outside is the one spreading corruption. Otherwise, why is he the only one who can cleanse the corruption?
Master Eomir, you're wrong. He has been helping us all this time.
Even if you're a sage, I shall not allow you to slander him in that manner.
Lawson, the Wind Whisperer who brought the mage to the forest. Leica, the Dusk Patroller. And Aaron, the scion of the Lucent Tree. By linking yourselves to the corruption and the actual culprit, you are trying to influence the hearts of the Wilders with the false image of saviors. You are the corruption that needs to be cleansed from the forest.
Get out, outsiders! Leave!
Capture these outsiders and traitors.
First, you want them out, then you want them captured. What a masterpiece of terrible hospitality.
Who are you? Their ally? Outsider.
Just another uninvited guest. Here for the show.
Go! Stop her!
Hey, you lot! Quit daydreaming and move it! Well, I guess I'll take my leave too. Adios!
Hurry! After them!
I thought I could get Master Eomir to change his mind. I thought he would at least care about the future of our forest.
Parissa, it's not your fault. Master Eomir's reaction took everyone by surprise. Don't worry. The Dusk Patrollers will be with you even without the Thorn Guards.
I agree with him. Regardless of Eomir's past achievements or the kindness he's shown you,
He's now just an old man who cannot distinguish right from wrong. I don't even have the vocabulary to curse him out.
By the way, who was that human girl who helped us? Even we had to go through so much trouble to bypass the Thorn Guards, but she just popped up out of nowhere on top of that tent.
I know, right? If we weren't so busy running for our lives, I'd stop and applaud her.
Non-wilders have been banned from the forest ever since the exclusion edict was issued, let alone getting past the guards. We must not underestimate her. Fortunately, based on what happened at the camp, she seemed more friend than foe. If that Graveborn lady really is after the Lucent Tree, we need to head there and inspect the surroundings first. If that Graveborn lady shows up again, we'll be counting on you. The Lucent Tree isn't far from here. Let's rest up before setting out.
Well, you guys got away fast. Hey, handsome. The first thing you should say to your savior is thank you. I guess it wouldn't hurt to tell you. I'm Atalanta, a famous treasure hunter. How strange. You're with a group of wilders and you know nothing about the hidden treasure in the dark forest? Anyway, I'm here for that. And if you want to know more, you'll need to pay.
Treasure hunter. No wonder you're so skilled. You even escaped from Eomir and his wilders.
Eomir? Oh, that old man who went after you. I was hiding on top of the tent, trying to eavesdrop on any info about the treasure. Then he started with all that outsiders and corruption nonsense. Who does he think he is? I hate people who act all high and mighty.
Outlander, you must not disrespect Master Eomir.
You really can't see it, can you? Are you trying to protect your pride or something? Whatever, let's drop this. I have nothing more to say to a stubborn woman like you. As a matter of fact, I hate talking to people like you. By the way, that corruption you mentioned at the camp, were you referring to the dark plants that look decayed? Well, there's one in the camp nearby. This information is on the house. A little present for pulling off that escape from that old wilder.
What? There's corruption around here too? It's so close to the Lucent Tree.
Miss Atalanta, thank you for your help.
Save your thanks. Remember, you owe me one. See ya!
Hey! Speak up! Who are you?
We're...
Orders? Ah, yes, of course. Those orders! We're very sorry. Are you Lady Alucia's assistant? We're so sorry! We shouldn't have overstepped our bounds. You see, this route just underwent transformation not long ago. We want to observe a bit more to ensure everything's perfect before pulling back. Are you and the client happy with the transformation results here? Aren't these wilders behind you new clients? Rest assured that the one we've worked with recently has nothing but praise for everything we've done.
Right. We're here to check the results. Can you disclose the name of your client?
That's a breach of confidentiality. We can't afford any information leaks. Since we have your permission, then we can tell you. It's Master Eomir from the Thorned faction.
Eomir?
Master Eomir, how is this even possible?
Oh, that old man! Is he trying to betray the forest now?
What's wrong? Do you know him?
Of course, we have a lesson to teach him. And you, Grove Killers!
May the wind and frost unite as one.
Curses! Why would Eomir want to corrupt the Lucent Tree? He no longer deserves to be called a sage.
Parissa, are you alright?
Please give me some time to come to terms with this.
Of course.
Magister, your guess was correct. The corrupted roots underground here are spreading to the north.
What exactly does Eomir gain from corrupting the Lucent Tree? He already has influence, power, and a respected position. Once the truth is revealed, that'll tarnish his reputation and he'll lose everything.
Does he want to get rid of the faction system and control the Dark Forest by himself? Like what? That traitor! If only we'd found out what he was doing earlier.
Lawson, this is not the time for self-doubt. Nobody could have predicted Eomir's betrayal. What we need to do now is pull ourselves together. We are the only ones who know the truth and can stop Eomir.
Leica.
Right. But I can't figure out why Eomir would corrupt the forest. I've marked down the corrupted spots here. What's our next move? Shall we proceed to the Lucent Tree?
Look! There's something coming at us!
Corrupted roots near Lunadorf exhibit signs of resurgence. Any advancements from your endeavors?
Bryon, we found the real culprit behind the corruption. It's Eomir. We found out he was working with the Adamant Syndicate, and their ultimate target is the Lucent Tree.
I figured. Master Arden, prior to his retreat into the Veduso Mountains, had explicitly advised me to observe Eomir's actions, suggesting an innate foresight. Otherwise, he wouldn't have urged Lawson to seek external assistance, nor tasked me with summoning Aeron back. Conveying and acquiring information is what we Wind Whisperers do. Alas, our prolonged inability to reach Master Arden leaves us in the dark about his current status.
Is everything all right with Grandpa Arden?
His situation remains obscure. I shall persist in attempting to re-establish contact with him. It is advisable for you to focus on the present circumstances. The Thorn Guards have erected a blockade around the Lucent Tree, indicating potential maneuvers by Eomir. Your attentiveness is implored. Additionally, during Ilona's investigative pursuits, anomalies were observed in the Eastern Flower Grove and the Northeastern Forest.
If those two places are corrupted too. Doesn't that mean the corruption has basically taken over the entire Dark Forest?
Show me the map. Along with the corruption on the east and northeast, they've encircled the Lucent Tree.
This is a big magic circle centered around the Lucent Tree. Each corruption spot serves as a node for the magic circle. And once they are interconnected, the circle is complete.
Eomer has been living in the forest like the rest of us, and knows little about magic. Creating a magic circle like this requires expertise of magic from the outside, along with a thorough knowledge of the forest. Although I'm not sure about the exact ties between Eomer, the Adamant Syndicate, and the Graceborn Lady, and whether she's the lady Lawson mentioned. At least those Syndicate people didn't lie to us about Eomer.
With all the evidence, there's no room for doubt. All this time, I've pledged my allegiance to the wrong person. As a member of the Thorned faction, my one and only duty is to protect the forest. This will never change, no matter what.
Bryon, time is of the essence. We've got to head out right now.
Understood. I shall convey this information to Master Dani and the Dusk Patrollers. May the winds of justice always be with you.
The Lucent Tree. The symbol of the Dark Forest. Our sacred haven. I've often wondered, if I hadn't been born under your shade, would my life be any different? Even now, I still don't feel a connection with you. No divine revelation nor omen. But even so, I've come to realize my mission. Scion of the Lucent Tree or not, I am a member of the Dark Forest. It is time I wield my swords to protect you.
Cecile, you came at a bad time.
Looks like you've got a bit of a problem. Will these people affect your plans?
What are you so worried about? You were given the power. Just like before. Make sure they don't trouble me.
Mere mortal. I'll tolerate you a little longer.
May the wind and frost unite as one.
Listen to the voice of the flowers.
Captain Parissa, 'tis verily thou.
Khafra is my former deputy.
I remain the deputy unto Captain Parissa.
I'm no longer captain of the Thorned Guards, so you should stop calling me that.
I do persist.
Ooh.
Outlander, utterance cometh only with Captain Parissa's grant.
Khafra, he is a mage brought in by the Wind Whisperer, and I've seen him use magic firsthand to clear out the corruption.
Clear out corruption? An outlander graced with such might? It behoves us to accord him the utmost courtesy.
I take it you're not working for Eomir?
We are the subordinates of Captain Parissa. After the captain's departure, we have been reassigned and stationed hither.
Were you all affected by my dismissal?
We pledge fealty to the Thorn faction. A sage bereft of wisdom merits no allegiance, verily.
You saw more clearly than I did.
Captain, we are assembled nigh. Thou mayest proceed to inspect and take respite. Bramo, Rosetta, secure the found provisions and make haste to return to camp.
Captain Parissa, I'm surprised to see you here.
Although there's no place for us in the camp, we've been following your teachings and haven't slacked on our training for a single minute.
Captain, our hearts do not covet the title of captain, but in thee we place our unwavering trust.
You're right. I should never have wasted my time on regrets.
That's enough self-reflection. Parissa, what is needed now is action.
You are right. Khafra, did you notice anything strange from Eomir before he reassigned you? For instance, did he ever make contact with strangers? Was there any sighting of a woman in black near the camp? We need all the intel we can get.
I do recall Rosetta hath submitted a report regarding the anomalous transfer of supplies.
Yes, Captain. After you left, a new group of guards came to the main camp. I readied their equipment and counted the supplies. Then I noticed something unusual. The number of weapons didn't match the inventory list. They really cover their tracks with the transfer records. I wouldn't have caught it if I hadn't noticed something odd about the delivery locations. Outside the forest. According to the records, under Master Eomir's name, multiple shipments of longbows and axes were dispatched beyond the forest to aid wilders in different regions. But the intel officer said there haven't been any requests for assistance in recent years.
Are you saying that the Lightbearer bandits causing trouble at the forest entrance are getting support from Eomir? Only wilders in the forest could have such a clear understanding of the Dusk Patroller's schedule.
Eomir, going so far as to spread corruption in the forest to snatch power from the other two factions and directing bandits to assault his own people. As a member of the Thorned faction, does he not feel guilty? Khafra, get everyone into their formation.
Captain?
I will retake command of the Thorn Guards, admit our mistakes, and bear the consequences. It'll take some time, but acting now is better than regretting later. Everyone, I haven't taken action for too long, and I shall no longer let down the guards who have supported me. With you around, I trust we can cleanse the corruption. Now, the guards and I are going to make amends for the Thorned faction's previous wrongs. Here, take this. I've inscribed my teleportation spell in this book. Although it can only be used one time, it can help you escape in a dire situation. It's time we bid farewell, my friends. Please save the Dark Forest. We're counting on you.
The corruption here is surprisingly severe.
All the flowers here are corrupted!
Curses! That rascal Eomir!
We need to hurry up and cleanse the corruption here. May the wind and frost unite as one.
I hear a storm coming.
Shine, stars.
Magister, are you okay?
You can't just clear out such extensive corruption all at once. The magic drain is just way too much.
Please take care of yourself. While magic is handy, your body is equally important.
The lucent tree is our sacred tree, but we can't let you wear yourself out just to safeguard it. Because this isn't your obligation, but ours.
The last patch of corruption is in the northeast. Please prioritize your well-being. Otherwise, I'd be so worried.
The Dark Forest will always remember your favor, and will never spare that traitor colluding with our enemies.
Listen to the voice of the flowers.
May the wind and frost unite as one.
What happened? The whole village is corrupted. The soil reeks of decay, and even the nearby plants have wilted. Where are the villagers? The Dusk Patrollers didn't receive any requests for help.
Look at the mess. And the half-open doors. The villagers must have fled in a hurry.
The ground here is exactly the same as the Great Fields in Ryham. Someone must have been performing corruption magic here for a long time. Maybe even a few years.
So if we don't completely clear out the corruption, the places we found would end up like this too? The forest, labyrinth, and even Lunadorf would all end up like this. Ah! Curses! This is unforgivable!
Is Eomir going to sacrifice the whole village just to accomplish his goals?
The most important thing now is to clear out corruption.
Lawson, please stay calm. We might be able to find some clues here. Even a little helps. The villagers have been plagued by corruption for days. Eventually, as the corruption spread, they had to leave their homes. The village ended up looking like what we see now. Eomir knew all along but chose to turn a blind eye. He used the reputation of a sage to calm the villagers, but allowed things to unfold. He is truly a disgrace to the name of a sage.
Judging from the dates on the diary, the corruption started a long time ago. This may have been the first place to be affected. Things might have been different if the Dusk Patrollers had known earlier.
That rascal! What does he take lives for? He and the Adamant Syndicate actually started corruption right in a place where villagers live! Does he see both the forest and its inhabitants as mere pawns to be sacrificed for his aims?
However, commencing action is still within our grasp. We need to stop Eomir.
Are you trying to cleanse the entire village in one go? Given your present condition, your body might struggle to cope with such intense magic expenditure. How could you?
Magister, Chippy may not know much about magic, but as your familiar, Chippy will support your decision.
Chippy!
It is our mission to trust the Magister and protect him whenever we can.
Ah, Chippy. If anything, use my magic too. I am your familiar, and you can draw power from me. I never want to see you in pain again.
May the wind and frost unite as one.
Onward, fellow knights!
The one responsible for the corruption is right here in front of you. And yet you're holding back. Young mage, don't try to use your limited knowledge to underestimate an immortal Graveborn. That's rude.
He is right. The Graveborns linger between life and death, belonging neither to the dawn nor to the night. How can they possess the power of life?
Corruption. Life. Resurrection. The trees surrounding the village, where corrupted roots entwine, wilt, and wither. Meanwhile, the Graveborns, who shouldn't have the ability to resurrect, keep coming back. I get it. You are stealing the life force of the Dark Forest.
You mean they draw life from the surroundings through the corrupted roots and channel it back into themselves?
Precisely. This is why Eomir sought to join forces with the Adamant Syndicate and corrupt the Lucent Tree. He's planning to seize the gift bestowed upon the forest by Misate. A long and enduring life.
How come you don't seem surprised at all by this conclusion?
Well, it seems that occasionally there are some bright minds among the living. Well, let me continue savoring your struggle. Come now, you think I'd use my full strength against weaklings like you?
Hold on, I hear something. I hear the sound carried by the wind. Eomir's leading the Thorn Guards to the Lucent Tree. He intends to implore Masate for divine blessings, asking for the eradication of all corruption.
We've been tricked. She's here to hold us back so Eomir can corrupt the Lucent Tree.
I do appreciate smart individuals. But as mere mortals, it's better for you to be dumb.
Watch out, she's about to attack.
Eomir, you hired goons to eliminate your opponents, blame the outsiders, and under the guise of the ritual, you're corrupting the Lucent Tree. Unforgivable.
Nonsense! Get rid of these traitors!
The corruption of the forest has long been removed. Your evil plan ends here. Wilders of the Dark Forest, open your eyes. He is our real enemy.
Loathsome worms!
May the wind and frost unite as one.
Aeron and Leica have joined forces with the outsiders to disrupt the sacred ceremony under the Lucent Tree. Go stop them.
Yes, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm the captain of the Dusk Patrollers. This is a diary we found from a northern village. It was left behind by a wilder. His village has been corrupted and is devoid of life. Please take a look at this diary. It is written in blood and tears. Why doesn't Master Eomir come here anymore? Where are the Thorn Guards? Alas, I must leave. Farewell, my village. I know you made a vow to take on the form of thorns and guard the forest when you joined the Thorn Guards. Tell me, why did Eomir stand by and watch our beloved people lose their homes to the corruption without intervening?
A Dusk Patroller and an Outlander? I don't believe your words.
Why would Master Eomir corrupt the sacred Lucent Tree?
Masate bestowed upon us the Lucent Tree, a sight for generations of children to behold. The sacred tree is eternal, but with the corruption spread throughout the entire forest, Eomir is able to corrupt the Lucent Tree itself and seize its life force for himself. Eomir has gained power, status, and your trust. However, he has reached the twilight of his life. There is only one thing in the world that makes a man willing to give up power and fame. That's eternal life.
Eternal life?
Dear members of the Thorn faction, please, take a look at our Lucent Tree. Look at its roots, the spring beneath its shade, and the leaves that once sparkled like stars. What has become of them now? It's not we who corrupted the Lucent Tree, but Eomir, in whom your trust lies. I will no longer address him as a sage, for he is not a sage, but a sinner of the forest.
Scion of the Lucent Tree?
Yes. I am the scion of the Lucent Tree. Now, I'd like to tell everyone what I heard from the Lucent Tree. I heard its prayers tainted by corruption. filled with sorrow for our blindness. Yet it persisted in seeking Misate's forgiveness.
Misate above? Did you really hear the voice of the Lucent Tree?
Master Ymir? Is it true what they just said?
Nonsense. There's no such thing as the scion of the Lucent Tree. In the name of the Thorn, I command you to take them down.
But?
Misate gave us eyes to see right and wrong, and ears to hear the true voices of the forest. Children of the forest, I implore you to see and hear the truth, and use your weapons against the true enemy of the Dark Forest, Eomir.
Aaron! Cisia, finish them!
Eomir, this is the last time.
I hear a storm coming.
Shine, star.
Cisia, why did you stop? I gave you the power. You can't possibly lose.
How foolish.
What did you just say?
Our scheme has been revealed. We can no longer drain the life force of the Lucent Tree. While I haven't obtained everything as desired, the coveted portion of power is already within my grasp. Tell me, what reason remains for me to lower myself and assist a mere mortal?
Are you going to break our agreement?
A hypocrite like you dare to command an immortal Graveborn. I'm done with your tedious farce.
Lucent Tree, I'm sorry that we weren't able to protect you. No. I only said that because the situation was dire. Everyone is so convinced that I am the scion of the Lucent Tree, so I had to use the title and Misate's name to get them to trust you and like her. In the end, I used Misate's name in vain to deceive my fellow Wilders. But I shall shoulder guilt. I know there is little hope, but do you think you can cleanse the Lucent Tree?
No! Stop! You've used too much magic along the way! The Lucent Tree holds Misate's divine power. Clearing all of its corruption would demand a huge amount of magic. Your life could be in danger. I will not concede on this matter. Let's explore other options. No matter how tough it gets, Chippy and I will always be with you.
It's all right, Miss Hammy. You've done us a favor in protecting the Lucent Tree. We can't ask for more. Your kindness is something even the most beautiful starlight cannot repay. Lawson, say something.
No.
Lawson, you know everyone has done their best.
I didn't give my all. I could have done better. But now all possible solutions have been tried. He has tried his hardest. You've put in effort, and Aaron as well. But I couldn't help it all. But if even Magister Merlin can't cleanse the Lucent Tree, who else is there to save the forest?
What did you just say?
What did you just call him? Magister Merlin? Are you really Magister Merlin? The greatest mage of all time?
Every place I've journeyed to has tales of Magister Merlin. That explains how you can cleanse corruption. Why didn't you tell us earlier? We could have hosted you more fittingly.
Oops! I didn't mean to say anything. Please forgive me. I have no idea.
The tides of fate may yet turn. The Lucent Tree is not yet fully corrupted. Your timely intervention prevented the complete usurpation of its power.
Bryon! Granny Donnie!
I too am a Wind Whisperer.
Sorry, children. I'm late. Merlin, if we had found you sooner, the Dark Forest might not have become like this. I condemned Yrmir before. Now I realize I have also neglected my duties. Alas. Bryon must have told you that Arden has secluded himself in the Verduso Mountains. Legend has it that in the Verduso Mountains, there exists a way to directly beseech Basati. It's a legend upheld among the sages, and Arden likely ventured to the Verduso Mountains for this. That old man left the affairs of the Dark Forest unattended, just to go on a wild goose chase. Alas, I've fared no better than he. We're getting old. Maybe the responsibility of looking after the forest can't be carried on our old shoulders anymore.
Magister Merlin, may I lead the way for you? Arden's protracted silence has become a source of concern among the Wind Whisperers. Indeed.
I'm glad you're still willing to help us, Magister Merlin.
We are so grateful for your help.
So next up is the Verdusa Mountains. We need to find Grandpa Arden and see if he has a way to save the Lucent Tree. Let's go!
Not everything in this village has come back to life. Is it because we couldn't stop Yrmir?
The life force in this land was taken away a long time ago. Even if we stop Yrmir from corrupting the Lucent Tree, I'm afraid...
Let's find a way to fix everything. And save the Lucent Tree.